Greetings and welcome to another episode of Play Unplugged TV. I'm your host, Enrico Nardini, for www.playunplugged.com, and we're doing another Play Unplugged unboxing today. This time it's for Dungeons & Dragons Dungeon Command, the Curse of Undeath. And so, you know, we've looked at some of these Dungeon Command boxes before. This one, we looked at Tyranny of Goblins. We looked at the two previous ones before that. We did a review of them. But this one is the Undead one. It's probably the one I'm actually the most excited about because when it comes to fantasy, Undead monsters are one of my favorites. And we're getting 12 pre-painted miniatures in here. I like the Dungeon Command game. It's a solid little miniature skirmish game. And I like having pre-painted miniatures around just in case I need something on the fly. I need a quick monster, don't have time to paint it up. So we're looking at a $39.99 MSRP. And it's a nice box. And so we'll take a look under the cam, see what's inside. Let me just crack this open first and I'll do a quick overview. All these box sets are in a nice attractive box. I've said this before in the comments, I do wish they would seal a little bit better because sometimes the different chits and things get jumbled around. The box does hook. So we've got, here's your Dungeon Command rulebook and some stuff telling you about other board games and such. These are your two commander cards. These are the cards that represent, this is kind of you on the battlefield. They have different abilities, different hand sizes. In addition, there are the modular tiles and of course a host of undead looking minis. And some, I did this the last time, miniatures fell out like that, but that's okay. And some cardboard counters and whatnot. All right, let's take a closer look. All right, folks, so a couple of things. Hold on, let's save this for the main event. And first of all, we've got some cards. And now the interesting thing about the Dungeon Command, and you can find out more about this by just reading our review on Play Unplugged. Just go on the, you can go right to the search bar of our website and put in Dungeon Command and all this stuff will come up. And so one of the interesting things about this set is, number one, it can be used three different ways. Number one, you can just use it, the miniatures, for role play. You can also use these cards. These can all go in as monster cards with any of the D&D adventure board games. So we're talking Castle Ravenloft, Wrath of Ashardalon, or The Legend of Drizzt. So that's another use. And then the third use is for this actual game. And so here are the cards for the actual game. And one of the nice things about this in general is there's no dice rolling in this. It kind of makes it a little bit more tactical. If you like dice rolling, you know, that's the thing to consider. But one of the nice things about it is a lot of this involves tapping cards. There's still a random element in that your orders and the order in which you get the creature cards will change each game as you're drawing your hand and everything like that. But it does make it more magic-like, I guess, for lack of a better word. So here are just some of the cards you'll see. Like everything Wizards produces in the realm of cards, they're very, you know, all these are very beautiful and well done. And these are the many different monsters that you have in the set. A lot of different monsters in the set. We're getting a little bit of glare because these cards are treated with a process that makes them a little bit shiny. It does enhance their durability, but there you go. So there are order cards. One of the things that's so great about these sets, these modular dungeon tiles, anyone who's familiar with the dungeon tiles line in general, these are very high quality, very durable, and they hook together. And what you'll do is you'll hook your set together and then you'll hook your opponent's set together and that'll be the board you battle across, which I thought was a really unique feature. It's nice too to get some more dungeon tiles. There's no reason you couldn't use these for role play. They work with a D&D game. They'd also work with something like Pathfinder, anything that uses squares, or anything that just uses straight up measurements too, because you could just measure with like a ruler. So like something like Savage Worlds, for example. Okay. 2 command cards. These are your two characters, Deltharin Everett and Morgana Valistova. She looks like a vampire and a necromancer. Good choices for a set labeled Curse of Undeath. You'll get a Dungeon Command rulebook. As I've said many times, it's printed on paper. This is not the most durable rulebook, so you're going to want to be careful with it. The interior of these is identical to the previous sets because we're just trying to give you the rules. You know, they're just Wizards is just trying to give you the rules here. So the inside is identical, though the cover is different to match the set. Okay, the counters are also identical to previous sets. I don't want to really waste your time going through these again. They're useful, they're durable, they've been treated in a similar way to the dungeon tiles. So yeah, high quality counters, you're going to like them. So lastly, this is really the main event here, is the miniatures. Are the miniatures good? And this is a nice set of pre-painted miniatures. I really like what I'm seeing so far. A couple interesting things I noted right away when we popped the box. These, what is this one called? A hypnotic spirit. This, in previous sets, it's made out of clear plastic, which is cool. It gives it a ghostly effect. But one thing I kind of like about this one over the other one is the other ones are really glossy. And so they kind of look like a Jolly Rancher or like a lozenge. These ones have been dulled down. I don't know exactly how they did that. I don't know if they dry brushed a little bit of paint over top of them or what, but these have clearly been dulled down, and it really gives them more of an apparition effect. They're still semi-transparent, but they have more of a look of an actual apparition because they're not so bright and shiny. That one is a clear plastic one. This also, this is a Lich Necromancer, and this is a cool figure. And I haven't seen this one before. This may be new for this set. I love his crown. This would make a great end-level encounter in a fantasy role-playing game to fight this guy on this like kind of a ethereal waft font of power. This is the Skeletal Tomb Guardian. This miniature's grown on me. I actually, back in the day, I forget which set this was, I traded this guy away, and I regretted it. He's kind of a cool monster in D&D. Very useful, and so I'm glad to be able to have another version of him. He was a rare. We've got a Gravehound, and he's a nice looking. This is another one that I think this may be new. They haven't had undead dogs before, but not like that. That might be a new one. These are a classic. They were whites, now they're zombies. Being used as zombies, and honestly, they'll do double duty. They would be fine either way. This figure is also not new, the Skeletal Lancer, and as you can see, his lance is suffering. He's having a little bit of a wilted lance effect. That's okay, but it's kind of annoying. I still like him though. The horse is very well sculpted. This is a resculpt, the Warrior Skeleton. This sculpt was released previously with a bent-looking sword. Now it's got a short-hafted axe. It's cool. It's cool to have more versions of it. I like this figure anyway. And lastly, this vampire also I think is new. Vampire Stalker, and he's in a kind of a really dynamic pose. Though I would like to change his weapon. I'm not in love with that dagger. It's kind of a little bit big in a weird way. I mean, it's scaled okay, but the hilt is insanely large for the blade. But I love his pose. He's in an awesomely dynamic pose. This would be a really cool one to repaint. So, oh, I'm sorry, I missed one. And of course, then we'll get to the main event of the miniatures. Not only are the miniatures the main event, but there's something in here that I think is just so cool. But we'll wait on that. All right, so we've got the Disciple of Caius. Now, if I understand correctly, this guy is made out of worms. I did not play Age of Worms. A friend of mine, actually a fellow Play Unplugged writer, Scott Pyle, played through an Age of Worms campaign back in the 3.5 days, and he enjoyed it immensely, though it was very difficult. And so, yes, I believe this guy's made out of a pile of wriggling worms. This Disciple of Caius. And lastly, this guy is heavy, by the way. Oh my gosh. It's like a giant piece of molded plastic. So this guy is not as heavy, and that's because he is quite dead. This is the Draco Lich. And wow, yes, he is cool. Just a neat miniature. He's very skeletal and bony. His wings are all torn up. You can see his crazy dragon spine. He's really like, it's almost like a skeleton, a dragon skeleton. There isn't very much meat left on the bones, and probably as it should be. This is just a really cool miniature. I like, you know, it's a very simplistic paint job. It basically is like you know, kind of a bony color with a wash and probably a little bit of a dry brush. It's well executed though, and you know, this guy would definitely look intimidating on your tabletop. He's the biggest miniature in this particular set, and he's quite large, and another great high-level encounter for your players. So that's what you get in Curse of Undeath. So folks, that was Curse of Undeath for the Dungeon Command game from Wizards of the Coast. We hope you enjoyed this unboxing. For more unboxings, make sure you like us on Facebook. Follow Play Unplugged on Twitter. It helps us. It really helps us get to know you guys. It helps you guys get to know us back. You can leave comments for us there or in our forums. And make sure you check out www.playunplugged.com. We'll keep you updated on all the latest things going on in tabletop gaming. And thanks for watching.